is just a sort of overlooming gloom.
It is. And you know how when in the open qualifier we did in Hamburg, we started speaking about fatigue potentially hitting M&M. Of course, they're not on 8 maps currently on the side of Cyclops. However, they have given it their all, and they found themselves on 3 match points. But unfortunately, we're not strong enough to take it into their own hands here. And that leaves us right now with Villa to come through. The first ban came in, and that will be a Jackal from the side of Cyclops. So let's see how the rest of the banning phase unfolds. I would assume potentially we could say a Valkyrie to come out.
There it is. Do you feel accomplished?
I feel accomplished.
Oh my God.
Won't see a mirror.
Is this... I'm just going to leave it.
See, I think Cyclops likes to play it too much. It's like them banning Monty.
They do. They love a cheeky Cyclops. They love a cheeky Cyclops. love a cheeky mirror. Obviously, Cyclops love a cheeky Cyclops. They're all good on that front. But the Melusi, the removal. And to be fair, you're looking at the statistics. You're looking at the places where she does get thrown in. You will very often see her sort of played and placed around all of the, you know, staircases, the stair sets, the control of the space that Cyclops love to explore, the space that Cyclops love to sort of throw themselves up and around with a quick burst of speed. What's going to slow them down? Well, we've seen a couple of things so far. Smoke canisters, goo mines, and banshees.
For sure. Let's see how it works out. Cyclops again starting off on the defense. The Amaru will be brought in from the side of Team Liquid. Now, if you would have told me it was Cyclops playing the Amaru, I would have believed you without a doubt. It seems like Liquid wants to potentially go for some quick pace here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I mean, if it comes together, it comes
bottom
together.
Floor.
Yeah, I was going to say. But do you know what? I'm just going to Yeah, this is a site, by the way.
It is a site,
you might not be aware of this. This is the 4th site on Villa. You don't really see it too often. And ever since Clubhouse had a little bit of a tweak and had bartend into a little bit more of a formidable structure, it may be the least seen site out of any site across the board. I'll have to ask one of our many stat nerds to run the data on that across this tournament, but it's just not really a great place to
get
go.
a director question to put them on their toes. And
there's a lot. Well, I assume at this point all of them are watching this game.
Yes.
I don't have anything to offer the one who solves it though.
Jesse or Dev, whoever gets the answer to us first.
I mean, you've also got the many Excel geniuses out there.
The spreadsheet role. I mean, isn't that part of being a Siege caster to some extent, that someone needs to be able on your team to work with spreadsheets?
Yeah, it's not me. I asked Fresh how I can make a line break the other day.
Okay, did you? Okay, did you get the answer?
Yeah, it's just Alt-Enter. I'm so dumb. Here it is, the fresh start. And the way to get the approach, and 30 seconds already gone. Liquid, as you said, they might go fast, but on this site, you're not really going to have too many options. The only one is kind of a hatch into the site, which has been played before by an old French team. At the time, they were called Easy Dream, but they've gone through a couple of different iterations. Either way, they were so fun in the plays that they did, and that was maybe one of my personal favorites. Here, though, with the pulse underneath, you've got a little bit of busy work to do before you can do the body work of swinging up that hatch, and I think they maybe expected something else. As you said, this is not really a first pick for anybody.
No, definitely not. And if you're trying to bank on the fact that you brought the Amaru to go for some quick pace, maybe even into study, you know, through the hatch or something similar than that on the 90 area, you know, there's multiple areas you could use it. It is definitely not going to be working out now. Is Palu just opening up the door right here with the pistol. Not going to be able to find anything. Is Anaton actually chasing resets with the scanner, knows exactly where he is, and potentially will be guiding Gator to a potential kill with the Nitro here.
Resets is up on the top. He's going to slowly try and creep his way through as the call comes down. Minute 10, and Villa is a hefty map, so you got to make sure that when push does come to shove, you're in a good position. It's a bit wide. They have an idea that somebody's just playing around off the side of China. They know that there's some of this bout of pressure, but without anything being solidified, so far Cyclops are just being shepherded further and further away. The pulse is giving every single heartbeat, and the man himself is making sure that the hearts that get broken are the opponents. Resets, droned ahead by PSK as Blackray gets the opener there against Palu. The impact misses. The second does not, but he goes wide anyway as Anaton goes down inside. The corridor itself tried to double up with the push itself, but suddenly that is a player isolated inside Kitchen.
Yeah, Sharon resets right here and finds himself in that first floor, stuck between the actual site, China, and of course the dining area. And the members of Liquid now trying to find a response here as they do find Scissor C. They have that 1 minute advantage here, but Aegator still alive, and hunting is going to be a big danger for the side of Team Liquid. He does, however, get taken down, and that means it's a good start here for Team Liquid on this first round of Villa. So there's only 2 CAG members left, 14 seconds on the clock. They need to get that plan down, but no one is inside of the actual bomb site yet. As Ask digs himself in deep right now. It's a vertical angle that will deal a lot of damage, but Gadarada will potentially just push out right now. He needs to find the angle to stop this fight from happening. Is he going to be able to do it? Doesn't seem to be the case, but he does get a lot of damage down to PSK. Every single one of them right now is literally 2 single bullets away from death.
It's a very spicy lobby, made slightly less spicy, and there it is. Team Liquid. They had another round to their tally of rounds 1, and it's growing longer and longer, as I said before. It was a bit of an off-site pick, it was a bit of a gamble, and this is the first time that Cyclops haven't been able to take that opening round, and the first time it hasn't been by a clutch play and a player, which seemed to be a little bit of a trend that really set a pace, and that's my worry right now. That's that continuing statistic from the end of the previous map of how long that stays in the players' Cyclops' heads. They were so close, but it's getting further and further away.
It is definitely getting further and further away. By the way, just quick fun fact. Currently, 15 entries for either team over all 3 maps.
Perfectly balanced.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Plants, not so much. We do have 2 more currently on Liquid. So yeah, they are definitely seeming to be a little bit ahead on the side of Team of Cyclops FA Gaming. And of course as well, they didn't need 15 rounds to lock it off on Bank. They needed only just 14, you know, it's no big deal. By the way, we're headed towards the Aviator Games area now. Cyclops, they got close in that last round in Living. They definitely tossed up something that was not expected by Team Liquid. However, they were able to deal with it. And that is what makes a championship team in the end. The adaptation. And that is something during the first 3 years of Siege we said was so important. Being able to adapt to literally everything that goes through. But to some extent, it is still one of the most important skills to have as a team. You might not have the perfect lineup for the site, but you need to make it work. And make it work they did.
To the top. And they're going for their approach here. PSK obviously was a big force on that opening factor there, the Flores. And to be fair for me, he has been a bit of a shining star on a team of stars, obviously. Resets and Ask, the recent additions, and in the words that they said, changing from an old roster to a new player, you're always going to have those moments of what are they going to bring? How are they going to step up to the mantle of Moringa and Sexy Cake? And the words of Liquid were, well, we're going to take these newer players and get them into our Liquid playstyle. And to be fair, you cannot doubt the work that's gone on, but to see those old heads show up that, you know, when you're alongside Nesk and Palu, sometimes you get overshadowed. It's understandable. Everybody does. It's good to see him having this drive over the past couple maps.
It definitely is, and if I'm just quickly looking at the site here, it seems like Cyclops know exactly where the main attack from Liquid seems to be coming from. Of course, they take Astro, Bathroom, Trophy, Statuary in the bedrooms. Cyclops have their main lineup set up right around the red stairs. There was one on the 90 corridor, but as they're rotating out and around, it's giving an opportunity for Liquid here to continue pushing on. Okay, long angles are being watched. Black Ray is using the MX4 Storm to potentially look at anybody moving into the landing area, but if Liquid do manage to break through, they have a quick entry onto the site.
Minute 20, and still everybody's still standing, but last time Liquid were very good at preparing themselves for the take. They sort of set up a mantle and a trap there. Ask is just going to try that again, get himself stacked up in the right place, and that's it. That's entirely what Liquid like to do. They like to prepare themselves for these push. The late mirror window goes down, and so does Suzu C. The grenade from Nesk is able to take care of the body. I believe that was on red, and that is that sort of swing take. Iagate is going to have a lot of focus now, pushed across against the strategy table. He's stacked up, and Nesk is actually going to flood his way around onto 90. Instead, it's this consistent drive. Here is a Liquid that is fluid. Here is a Liquid that is consistent, and there is a player that is pretty damaged, but still standing.
Yeah, Anaton takes a lot of damage there, and with Black Ray still being alive on the backstairs, as Nesk now trying to go for a bit of a hunt. At least has those grenades to be able to use and potentially pick up some more damage, but unfortunately will not be able to successfully do so. It's going Could be the Nitro that actually takes care of some of that team utility here. Aegator prone around the strategy table, is hoping for the best, is hoping he can pick up the diffuser carrier and drop it on the ground, and successfully will do so, as well as Nesk will be hunted down as well. It's a 4-on-2 situation as it's only up to PSK now. A 1v4 clutch he needs to make happen in 5 seconds. Gets the first, hunts the second, but misses the shot. It's Blackray that wins it, and it's CAG that will put themselves up to a round, and they will end the streak that Liquid was building of 6 rounds in a row.
Gatarada with 15 seconds left, popping the smoke canister and then swinging in with the shotgun. I mean, it's a bold play, and at that point you assume they're going to try and push back through anyway, so why not push your own way too? Dropping the diffuser on the windowsill was a very important moment of that. That's why they stuck in that position, because to be fair, when the shield's gone on strategy table and you have this pressure and presence on the other side, you don't really expect somebody to be prone on the other side holding.
No, you don't. But he could be actually in that position due to the fact there was still a member alive on those main stairs, holding it off. Yes, he got smoked out, but that followed up shortly with that jump in, and as soon as he got that kill, that's the diffuser dropped. The player on the main stairs could literally just walk all the way up to the other side of the map and it would have won the round. There was no way they had enough time to clear the site, go for the plant at the very same time. No one was there to help. And that is the one flaw that you have with these kind of setups. Often we see the diffuser being solo on the study side, whereas the rest pushes in from the north. And the diffuser then gets taken out due to a stray player still being around the main stairs or even prone behind the strategy table. That is when trouble starts hitting. That is when suddenly there is no more time left to pick up that diffuser. So you really got to make sure that study and everything surrounding it is under your control if you want to play it like that.
So to kitchen, instead of going to trophy and setchery, which is often a secondary instead, we're getting a pretty similar lineup here. The double soft destruction and limitation on the hard. It's, you know, fairly standard, to be honest, with a lot of modern Villa takes, especially with how they like to swing their way in. It's a lot of shepherding the space and not too much soft destruction. Maybe they thought it was a different side. Either way, all of them usually require at least one wall if you're doing a default take, and this one is that washroom. This one is that little pocket plant. So I'm curious to see if they try and go for potentially a different side, the room with all the covered paintings, and put their own story to the canvas.
Some wallbangs are being attempted right here. They want to take living room and library under their own control. Of course, it was the first site we played at. It's not going to be that heavily contested currently by the side of Team Liquid. Actually, talk about that. There's 2 players out here hiding and trying to make sure that they are stopping Liquid in their tracks and not allowing them to push through any further. And if you're looking at the operators they're carrying, it's going to be yokais, there's Capcan traps on the doors, but there's also serial laser gates to slow them down. Team Liquid will need time. That is going to be the pure fact of it. They cannot clear everything out with 10 seconds left on the clock, so they need to make sure that they do it quicker. They need to take this ground sooner rather than later, because if there's a minute left on the clock, you still need to get living, you still need to get rid of every single EDD and serial laser gate. Then at some point there is still going to be that yokai that pops up. So they need to speed this up.
They're trying to find bodies, trying to find players, and Cyclops love to keep them at arm's length. There's a bit of a stretch and a rotation, there's punch holes, there's angles, and that's a bit of a worry for Liquid. They're seeing if they can sort of suss out this split push. If you can kind of get the 2 angles, the cuts across, you might be able to go for that clarity of space on the plant, as I said, on the other side of that room of paintings and statues. They have the double soft destruction, so they can get through this twice as quick, so the timer is something that might come together, but at the same time, you've still got to put some focus down towards the site, and without a single catch, it puts a little bit of danger. There's still C4s in play. It's always going to be something with some awareness, but, well, Blackray already used his, and Reset takes him off the board either way. Ask. He's taken a chunk of damage in the exchange, but still soft destruction reigns. 30 seconds. What can Gatarada do with the swing round red? The fight goes away from him.
Yeah, it gets picked up by Nesk as well, but there's still not much time left. Aegator drops, they need to start pushing now. 2 on 5. Yokai drones still on the board. Anaton has a huge clutch potential here. Scissorseed just needs to waste as much time as he possibly can as Ask is about to be entering the side. They need to realize where this is coming from. They need to slow them down at least ever so slightly as this plant is going down. 10 seconds on the clock. The first stone will come right now, and it's not going to be hitting it. It's the player that body blocked it. That means that the plant's actually going down. 45 seconds. Anaton Anaton in a 1v5 situation now is probably just going to be trying to fall back here, use the hatch to his advantage. An EDD went off, resets gets down, an effective 1-on-3 it is, but there's almost going to be no way that Anaton gets back into this one here. Pings are coming through, the swing is as well, flashbangs are being tossed in, and he's completely blind. 20 seconds left on the clock. There's no way Anaton is going to be winning that one.
So a Liquid player, unaware, just made a play of the game by blocking those two Echo charges. They didn't really know where it was, and they drifted themselves into that position, potentially more as a cover. I mean, there's obviously some impressions of the Echo being on a board, but the awareness to be right there and hit both of them.
You saw travel for so long as well, and then the player just walks in front of it. It's like, no, not like that. Could have been a win there coming through, but in the end, Liquid gets that advantage now, and we're going to rerun Dining. Running it back, as they say, as the cool kids use for wording. And now, dining, kitchen, again being brought. Is there any big differences? That is remain to be seen. I mean, no Echo coming out right now, especially after that body block we just saw. Probably think that it's better to use a Pulse instead to guide these Nitros to guaranteed kills, because that will slow them down even further. Because there's a lot of Nitros, if you haven't seen, just 4 of them.
Only 4.
Only 4.
And a Bandit.
Yes, as well, yeah.
So, I don't know if you saw Cyclops' game yesterday that I cast alongside XR Troika. Gatorada, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, he got a bandit trick off, right?
Pulled off a successful bandit trick in their game, and then unfortunately they still lost the round and obviously the game. In the end, spoiler alert, to stuff that's already happened, but it was the first successful bandit trick I've seen in a sort of tier 1 major in a very long time.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive when it's being pulled off, and it's more so a mistake being made by the attacking team than...
Oh, it entirely was,
yeah,
because there was really nothing else to support him. In true Cyclops style, he'd picked up a bandit to solve a problem where there wasn't previously a problem, and then had gone on to play that, and there was nothing else to support him. No castle, no stretch, but that's a whole other story. Here is this one that's already starting quite quick. The damage is being done round on towards the kitchen side of the 3 players that are sort of stacked more internally this time. Compare this with the previous hold that we saw, and you know, it seems like they've got themselves a little bit closer to where the action might come through, but Liquid's take was good from the top.
Yeah, you might not see it, but when we just run the overhead here on our own screen, it seemed like there was a bit of indecisiveness on the side of Cyclops. They were just swinging around rooms, not quite sure where to play in the end, and as Resets is going for a bit of a hunt, I believe there is one of these players still around that bottom floor. Santa's actually going for a hunt and will be trying to get that drone, but unfortunately fails to successfully get it. Now spots 2 heartbeats down below. That is becoming an issue here. How is he going to be able to stop this? That is going to be the big question.
Where is this curiosity being paid to? Anaton has the read on a heartbeat just below him, and Ayagator has the read on Arse. Cuts him in half with the shotgun through that little swing on the top of the stairs. There's one more. 2 stairs, 2 shotguns. Both very effective, as proven by those 2 early swings. They lose the 2 soft destruct. They lose at least a lot of pocket utility there. They obviously still have grenades, and they still have some capabilities of destroying the softs with those Flores charges, but the limitations on what I said was their best play and their best game before. Nesk wants to go for the hot hop and lets PSK burn it a little bit closer as he's into the little bicycle storage box, but he doesn't quite have the angle on anybody else, and the confidence to swing is one that's built up by the rest of his players. In fact, it's Cyclops. He's going to see if he can take this slowly and steadily and kind of expect them to go.
Still 1 player upstairs that will be holding verticals, most likely into the laundry machine, so even if they try and go for that push, it's Anaton actually to take a small amount of damage as he goes down. Ayagator needs to go aggressive in the meantime here to get Nesk and get that diffuser under lock and key. He is low on HP. He turns around at the worst possible timing there. Nesk is able to pick up the kill. Suddenly Liquid turn it all around. It's a 3-on-2 situation still. Anaton quite low, but he gets a very important kill. Fully blind, however. Gatorada from the top is going to have to come in huge as well. Palu, the best player currently in the world, on plus 1,015 KD. In the meantime, going for the plant here with PSK on for the cover. There is going to be some yellow pinks to come through, but no actual accurate information to come in from the heartbeat sensor. And 45 seconds on the board. On courtesy of Team Liquid, it will be up to Anaton and Gatorada to try and take that one back.
I mean, the Pulse was sort of given the idea of where it is, but it's a default plant spot at that point. They're trying to stack themselves up for some damage, and it's not like they even went for the bites from above with that call. So Gadarada, he's driven his way in, and he's still trying to see if he can find a fight. The C4, that one connects. That one wasn't thrown out the door and lost on the other side. There's one more player. He's on the back fast side, and he's actually slipped away, rotated onto red, and now they're going to see if they can try and get it back round. The first is his, the second is his. Double! Swings and takes it from the door and out of the gate right now. Things haven't quite been hitting the mark. It's 3-1. Liquid have been able to drive themselves in. This is obviously the matchmaker map. This is neutral ground, or as neutral as you'll get in this situation of, well, it was just the last one left.
It was the last one left. However, I still feel it favors Liquid a bunch more than the previous two maps did. I feel the previous two maps were more of a free playing ground for the side of Cyclops, whereas this one is too structured probably for their playstyle, but they'll still be forced to play. Of course, half one isn't even over yet. It could still be a 3-3 in the end here. I mean, Cyclops did get quite close to some extent. Potentials of ending the round. Think of the Yokai drone, which unfortunately was blocked in the end. I mean, and you might say, all right, but that was a 1v4. That is not close, but it's literally how Cyclops have been winning most of the defensive rounds.
Exactly.
That is how they win. They win 1v4. They don't win by a blowout. No, they just use a piece of utility to win it instead. They play it smart, and they throw all their bodies at them as a resource for time waste.
If it works, it works, and it worked for them before. But as I said, Liquid have wised up. They've found themselves with a lot more stability and understanding of how they want to come to this approach. Their approaches have been so much better, and that is reflected in the fact that currently they have performed as well as they have on any of their best attacks against Cyclops so far. Usually, well, it's 2 on the first, 3 on the second, and they're on 3, but if I'm honest, that looks like Cyclops can't quite stop them from progressing and getting more and more and more. And whether Cyclops feel like they're going to have a little bit more passion on their attacks or not, they've definitely got to see if they can try and lead in, because Liquid are a team that builds momentum. Nesk is out of the gate running. They have this pressure. All of them are firing well, and they're just struggling to fire back right now.
It's definitely something they seem to be struggling with indeed, and a couple of them are on the side. It's not even that heavy of a roam that we've seen before. Seems like they're starting to turtle in a little bit here on Villa, which is not really the style of play that suits them most. So are they going to be able to adapt in time here? Resets inside of the living room. If he gets a yellow ping on the player that is still residing around those red stairs, that could just be a wall bang that's going to save life here. Opens it up with a sledgehammer though. The spot comes through. He now knows one is out there. One resides on those red stairs, and he's not even going to hold it. He's holding. He's afraid that someone might be in that cubby, I think. He could just drone that out.
I mean, they have the intel, they have the ways of getting it, they have all their drones, plus the extra drones, and plus even more extra drones, and then an invisible lady, and Nesk uses her to be able to lead him to get Suzuki, takes care of that, and gets the opener once again. Suzuki hasn't really been able to have a connection with this game, but to be fair, under this Liquid, a lot of other teams have struggled exactly the same. Still setting up these late mirror windows, a minute for it to be popped down because they have an impression of where the push is coming from, and it's sort of a bit of a break here. They were able to clutch this out last time by the single player on the strategy table, but look at the difference here. Nesk has the kit this time. They have it in a different position. They're not going to throw it up to chance on the far side of study control.
Yeah, for sure. Nesk, one of the deadliest gunners, instead is going to be tasked with the duty to get it down onto the floor, counting down from 45, and Black Gray will be able to pick up 2 kills actually, shut down Palu and resets, and that is actually going to be enabling them. However, Nesk is going to be able to find a response to actually as Nesk finds one as well. 2 on 3 back on the scoreboard here, and Liquid have a good opportunity to find yet another round. Anderton hiding in the doorway here, 15 seconds on the clock. There is a player inside Classical, there is a player inside Study who finds one. Anderton needs to find a response, but he walks right into the crossfire as Nesk with the very final kill, and it's going to be Team Liquid that is up 1-4, and you heard them just there now. They are starting to get loud over these past few rounds, and it's not getting easier for Cyclops.
It's tough. The longer this series has gone on, it starts to raise those questions and question marks of how do these teams perform in best of 3s, best of 5s, longer stretches. It is probably impossible, but it's definitely very close to find players that have more experience of this level of pressure or this sort of stage and setup with these long series than the players that are on obviously Liquid. And it's not to say that the Cyclops players haven't played these long series, whether nationally or internationally. Any team that's here has done best of 3s and best of 5s, likely just to get here, let alone the other thing. But the amount of times that those Liquid names have been called on the grandest of stages would make a heck of a montage.
They do often make a very good montage indeed with all the frags that they manage to put on the board, and often amazing moments as well. Paulo, in the meantime, is just trying to go for a plus 2,000 wilt record, I think. You know, he's been very positive over this game.
I mean, once you've got past 1,000.
Yeah, just another 1,000.
What's another 1,000?
I mean, he's not far in, for those of you who think we're being serious. I think he's like plus 15 overall in the series, or plus
what was
10.
that? Was there a huge difference between him and who was second?
Like 80 kills on Nesk.
Yep.
Plus 80 days.
And then it's another jump between Nesk and whoever's next by like 100.
Yeah, I think it's like 100 or something more than that. So,
yeah,
you know, Palu and Nesk, they reign supreme, lonely at the top. So that is definitely something to keep account of. By far, two of the most successful, well, players in terms of statistics, but not really in terms of prizes. And that's what we said before as well. They want that SI so badly. We said it last year. They just missed out on it then. They so badly want to take it this time around.
We all remember the scenes in Paris. Well, Sweden, beware. They are finally able to lift the hammer and claim themselves world champions. And it starts with a couple of knocks. Nobody has the cleanest run in the world, and you've got to take those to be able to keep moving and break past those. Here, they obviously lost the opening map, and they came close to losing the second. But on this, the third, they have been that Liquid that looks ever likelier to keep their name as the team favorites for a lot of people. Blackgray isn't able or isn't willing to try and knock those next ex-Kairos, maybe waiting for a third set before he uses his second impact. He was able to trick off a fair amount, but you can hear more being popped, and there it is. There's the extension, there's the break, and there's the limitation. So many of those pellets have gone through. There's still 4. They can still get a rotation, but not a very clean one.
The big issue there was, of course, that they wanted to put on 6 more, but they couldn't because of the fact that there was still that singular impact left on the board that they could use to try and get rid of them with. So they needed to try and bait them out, and that's exactly what they're doing by just shooting on 2 every single time. Gadarada, however, is being chased down without him even knowing it. Resets is pushing down as he is going to be able to at least put some damage onto the player that is on those back stairs, Astro stairs, who then gets picked up by the grenade from Nesk.
Well, that shield goes down, and Palu gets Gadarada. They're suddenly inside the site, spraying their way around. Nesk suffers from an explosive, and Blackgray decides to try and retake the mantle of the bedroom. An easy swing is his, but he is all that is left. The diffuser inside the bathroom is a bit of a peculiarity for him at this point because they know exactly where he is, so he's going to trust the pings instead. PSK recovers it. Picks himself up, drops himself around, takes some damage, but the most important thing right now is getting that diffuser. Hey, can you hear that? That's the sound of being pinged continually. They are just hot pinging them and making them feel uncomfortable inside the bathroom, sort of saying, we know where you are. They know too. 5-1 on the half for Liquid.
There we have it. And I said it before. Fatigue might start playing a role here on Cyclops. The map also doesn't suit their playstyle very well, and as a result, we find ourselves right now with a very clear-cut half here. Team Liquid 1-5 up are looking to make this a quick one, and they're heading towards AVGs themselves first. It's the Thinker that will become announced, the Monty that comes through, and this is where it gets interesting. Is Cyclops going to be too quick for their own feet again? Or are they going to be slowing it down just ever so slightly as the Ossa is being brought out instead of the Monty, which at least makes Anaton play a little bit more careful. I dare to say it's not a shield that covers his entire body, so he definitely will have to. The mirror coming out as well on the side of Team Liquid. Is there anything Cyclops has brought to deal with it? Verticality is going to be the answer because there is no heart reach they can get on from a distance. Also no Twitch drone to zap out the canisters from.
What you will likely see is damage done potentially from underneath. Seeing if they can open up some angles, bullet holes, and just try and pop their way through, because the verticality here is, it's a conversation that's actually been around a lot, is generally the grenades and verticality. And I know when it first sort of came into the new armor and health system, there was the whole theories and theorems thrown around in the EUL studio at least about something's fishy with these 3 armors. Their ability to survive a lot of these blows up.
2 armors.
The 2 armors. It's delicate, but it's a balance that is a continual thing because how many grenade kills have we seen over this tournament? How many of these pushes and bouts of pressure have been, well, in pretty much every single game?
I mean, it depends on the teams playing, right? Some teams are more experienced with grenades from below and will make more use of them, whereas others really do not. They throw them, but will not be able to find anybody, and that might be due to insufficient counter-strutting, not knowing exactly where the players will be located at the time that you throw them in, or just throwing them at default places, for example. Either way, it is 1-5 currently. Cyclops are on that attack, and where they went very quick in the last 3 rounds they played on, of course, Bank, which cost them eventually a 3-pointer. They need to slow it down. It's exactly what they're doing right now. They need to find that first entry, and Ask will take a little bit of damage. A pre-fire comes through from Gadarada. It's not enough to, well, land the headshot. But only 1 smoke canister currently left in his hands, and well, as soon as he tossed in that last one, he did his job and will be falling back.
This is a Cyclops that we've seen a couple of times. They try and struggle to find a way in. They can't quite get their foot in the door, and, you know, sometimes it goes off perfectly. An explosive push onto the site is matched and sort of etched into the ground itself. There's a canister that slows them. They're at least able to get the kill, but they're dropped, 2 of them inside the smoke. The C4 wasn't needed, but at that point, with Cyclops, you probably expect a 3rd or a 4th player.
Yeah.
It's a pickup there. They've taken care of that operator that is that shield drive, and most importantly, Anaton and Gadarada, and we're getting those unfortunate semblances of that end game Bank Cyclops that was so close.
PSK taking a lot of damage there, goes into DBNO state, and it resets up on the main stairs here, misses the opportunity there. Blackray gets a good kill. That means that it can now take these stairs under their control. It means time rotation comes around. They need to pick up PSK. They know it's getting quite close here at the very final 50 seconds, the final minute as well. Pre-fire is potentially even being attempted here by Blackray as stuns are being tossed in as well, trying to figure out if someone's right behind the strategy table. No information coming out just yet. 40 seconds. Nesk, Palu, PSK, those 3. The core is still left standing to fend off this attack from Cyclops and put themselves onto match point.
Opening themselves up a rotation, a route straight into the site. There is going to be a bit of a jiggle peek either side of that gun vault, and Suzu C is able to open it up with a great take onto PSK. It's suddenly Palu gone as well. Nesk is all that's left. He got the pickup, but now he is the only one to pick himself up. They're going to sliver their way into sight and see if they can potentially get the plant. Sprays onto the door, swings himself closer, blinded and dropped, and Cyclops, they found that little recipe that they've been able to cook up a few times this game, which is, we don't have much time. Okay, let's take this site.
They bring it back. Suzu C forces himself into the classical hall and is able to pick up a multiple amount of kills out there. As a result, turn it into that 3v1 with Nesk just in that gun vault. That's an angle you all know. Everybody knows how to cover that one off because it's probably the first one you'll die to as soon as you walk through the classical hall and try and approach the site. So that one was being watched by literally every single member on the side of Cyclops. Nothing he could do, even flashbanged in the end. And oh, that at least gives them that first round on the attack. Team Liquid not on match point yet, but they are very close as they bring out the Clash, however.
A Clash and a Monty. 2 star-crossed operators from houses divided. Other quotes of Shakespeare that I can't really put together at 10:30 at night.
10:30, is that 10:30?
Is it? Yeah,
it is 10:30.
Yeah, it is. That's
no, but I was confused because for me 10:30 would be 9:30.
It's so strange.
But I know internationally we use that as 10:30.
Yeah.
But then Kinga said, what was it? Half 8, and I was like, oh, so 7:30, and she was like, no, 8:30. So
context, because you've just thrown a name out there.
Our telemanager.
Yeah,
yes.
He was literally a shepherd for the babies.
Telling me when I had to
casters and analysts are. And bring you chocolate.
That was Matt.
5-2. 5-2. And regardless of the stories that go on elsewhere here, the main point is it's a bit of a drive. It is a potential of a stack-up fight. And the first time that we've seen Clash in this showdown, it hasn't really been a huge bit of presence because at the end of the day, it's kind of specific points player nowadays. A lot of teams know how to deal with her. It's a surprise to struggle against her. And you sort of have to be in the right place at the right time with the right person. This is Liquid trying to push that game out, trying to force Cyclops into more uncomfortable situations. And if they think having that electric shield is going to be the thing that rebuffs that absolute bleed through onto the site that they do, well, there was a moment the Monty saw from the far side. A quick drop to the pistol, but couldn't quite get the connection that they wanted.
Cannot wait for Bikini to get upset about the clash not being played the right way. That's what he was complaining about before, actually. But hey, we're going to see whether or not Ask is going to be able to find that success with that clash, at least slow down Cyclops, because that is the big issue when Cyclops is starting to push through. There's little that you can do to actually hold them back. The only thing you can do is win those gunfights or physically slow them, this time by using the crowd control shield. Now, it seems like the complete rotation has come through. We're no longer trying to go through study. No, trophy statuary is where it's at. However, there is going to be some reinforced walls. Nesk out here as well with a salvation station is looking to hold this off for as long as he possibly can. But Anetson pushing in with that shield from Concrete. Blackberry right behind him and Gadarada inside of the bathroom. He's really going to need the support that he gets from resets.
Well, there's a hole above for the potential of impact tricking, or maybe something to stop it, but with resets instantly under control, it's not going to be the C4. What a pickup there. Gadarada just tried to scream his way past, but it's a mirror window, and you know it's actively being watched. There's a clash. Hi, Monty. How you doing? Get back in that bedroom. I don't think you need to be here right now. And this is Team Liquid playing that game. They're responding. They're reimagining ways that they can apply pressure onto this Cyclops hold. They are learning. They've learned, and now they're going to teach them their own lessons.
Gator is just sneaking in the meantime from the study side. Might be able to pick up the back line here as Nesk finds Black Ray. C2C will find one. However, the clash is still there. Team kill comes through, but it's only up to Palu now as he managed to get that kill. Only up to Gator, I mean, as he takes out the very final one. Coming back from the landing side. Managed to pick up that round, and it's match point now for Team Liquid.
6-2. 6-2 from where we started at on the previous map, and well, there hasn't quite been a deficit like this at all. The closest was 6-3, and to be fair, Liquid then brought it back to win the map. It's not quite over. It never truly is. The problem is Cyclops have lost that edge, that energy that got them into those situations before. Team Liquid have been able to rebuild, reconfigure. If the thing that Cyclops said coming into this was, we know their game and they aren't really comfortable with ours, it seems like over the past year they've learned how to get comfortable. Over the changes that have come in the meta and over the plays and places that have been, it's a long time since the last time these two teams, or as close as they were, played, with obviously changes on the side of Liquid. And to be fair, over a year, that is quite surprising, actually. Usually there's a few more.
And of course, Cyclops not making a singular change. And yes, they won the first map. Let's just say it, they should have won the second map. They had 3 match points, but they, I'm going to say it again, stumbled over their own feet. They wanted to go too quick compared to what they were able of, or capable of. And as a result, they find themselves on the map 3 right now, on Villa here, where their playstyle just doesn't connect, where Liquid knows how to counter them, where Nesk is going to be on 12 kills compared to just a singular death. And that is definitely not a pleasant outlook here for Cyclops. They need to find 4 in a row to stop this match from getting out of hand, to stop Liquid from getting that 2-pointer and pick an extra one up themselves. The question here, however, will be, are they able to? Are Cyclops able to get 4 rounds and chain them together? I don't think they've done that before. I see 3 here, I see another 3, but that's about it. So they have to outdo themselves in this series.
Well, there's a mirror trying to find a fight. They just saw a little bit. An edge of a gun, but it's not enough. As that Goyo shield gets dropped, they're going to open themselves a little bit more of an extension. You don't always see this play, but you don't always see a mirror open on Villa, so it's fair enough. If Cyclops are going to leave it for Liquid to play, Liquid are probably going to play it. There are these positions here that makes that astronomy a lot more kind of bright for them to just keep an eye at any of the stars that might fall in and then try and shoot at them with a vector, which is pretty much a laser beam. So it all kind of ties into the space analogy. Anaton, the slow creep up all the way from underneath is looking for the pantry push there onto resets, but PSK is keeping a watch potentially. So I'm curious to see how this push might go and just how aware they might be of that stretch and play.
Mirror windows being opened up above, not the mirror window itself actually, so nothing really to worry about as Gator is going to be able to pick up the very first kill. Ask gets taken out. Anaton, however, is in a very scrappy gunfight here, somehow not picked up, but the swing comes around a corner. Is that a trade between the two? No, it is going to be resets that finds Anaton. Brings it back to a 3-on-4 situation. Make that 3-on-3. It's Liquid trying to fight back and to successfully do so as well. They once again take the man advantage, but Blackray is close to the side. Flashbangs are coming in as he gets taken out. It's only up to him now as the one member drops down and he's standing there in disbelief. I guess I'll just have to plant now. 45 seconds on the board, but he gets swung on by Palu. Takes out that kill, however, brings it back to just a 1-on-2. A minute left on the clock. Is there enough time for him to play with?
He's going for a slow creep. He knows roughly where they are, but do they know where he is? Liquid can play this at any bit of a stretch. There's the first. Takes the head off of one and the second!
Blackray!
Blackray so consistently has been an absolute monster for Cyclops, and there is still a mountain to climb. But that was one little finger clutching on before the fall, and suddenly it is a hand grasped on. They've got to get a couple more and a couple pulls up, but they're still fighting.
They are still fighting. 3 more rounds. They have to get a 1v3 clutch from Blackray to keep them in it, and it isn't the first time he's done it. He's dropped 2 4Ks before, which were so important, and now he takes it again on round number 9. And is this going to be that little bit of momentum that they need to start building from? Is that going to be that moment where the spark turns into a flame again and they're able to shut down Team Liquid and push themselves to OT to potentially take it from there? An absolute 300 IQ 6-pick comes in, by the way. Anaton from Montaigne to Montaigne. Is it going to be working out? That is the big question, because we've seen quite a bunch of blunders coming through from the Shield today, whereas it worked brilliantly on other rounds as well. So it's a bit 50-50 hit or miss right now.
Okay, 3 more rounds. Liquid have their chance to sort of play themselves on rotations. They have their chance to be able to stick themselves elsewhere apart from AVG, but if this one falls away, then they have their chance to go anywhere that they want. They're going to double down here on Trophy, and in fairness, last time they doubled down on a site which was the aforementioned AVG, they won it the second time round, and they won it pretty handily. So I guess it's the difference that they think they might be able to cook. Are we going to see a little bit more attention paid underneath? We have 3 C4s, we have that chance of a lockdown there, and it was a bit of a back and forth. But still, a 3 versus 1 clutch. At that point, do you think, do we change anything?
That's it, all right? You're not expecting that to be the deciding factor in the end there, and if it is, you know that your strategy might have been working out. You just need to work a bit more on your timing for that very final push, because you effectively gave him 3 1v1s. He managed to win there. There was no crossfire set up at that moment in time, and he made good use of that. Blackray on 10 kills currently. Not quite on the level that Nesk is for the side of Team Liquid, but that's okay. Zagator looking to go for a quick entry on the red stairs here. Spots out a rotation here. Is going to be very careful for it as he sneaks up those red stairs. He wants to catch up one of these Liquid players off guard and put the man advantage in Cyclops' side.
There is this slow, this stem, this moment for us to take the breath and Cyclops to take a bigger one as they're trying to work out exactly where the players are. Hey, Gator. He's gotten himself stacked up ready on those stairs. He wants to see if he can potentially swing around on red and maybe try and apply some pressure towards the corridor, but he needs some shepherding to come elsewhere. If he suddenly just tries to crouch walk in, chances are there's going to be a player that swings on him, and if he gets that first one, chances are there'll be a second, and it's Liquid's hold, as they did it and played it before. Anaton on the Monty. Wants to see if they can mend the entrance here, and he is obviously this terrifying force we've talked about before, but the drive might come round. One notable change here is the mirror is gone. My curiosity is this because, well, they played her because she was open? It's a conversation we had. Sometimes if you expect to ban so many times, it's safer to play your game as if she's still banned, and this could be Liquid returning to that sort of form and position.
Rotero's being used already. One of the Goyo shields has been taken care of, but they need to get rid of the Electro Claw as well that's on there to make sure that they can open up that wall. At least concrete opening up just ever so slightly. A grenade will be tossed over. However, the Magnet will be catching it as Agator is hunting down below, is looking to find any potential players with nitro cells that could be coming in and turn a huge amount of damage up towards Cyclops' side. As Ask with the very first kill. That is in favor of Team Liquid. Are they locking it off here, or is it going to be another great clutch to come out from Cyclops?
Well, the C4 above the door and Anaton in the other side. He's got the pistol prepped and ready for the swing to come round, but it's so dangerous. There it is. Takes the fight onto the bomb chassis just on B, but they don't need it. Ask Gets one more there, swinging even deeper. Goes for a reload behind the monument. Saw a sliver of a body. The C4 pops a bit too early. Neska's gone down. The spray round. Black Gray locked off by PSK. It is just the single player. It is just that round they needed. And it is just 2 points for Team Liquid because of the huge fight Cyclops put up. They leave with 1. It should have been 3 in a lot of people's books, but that is the difference between a team that can get to the end or not, and that is